It's the first major of the season, the PBA World Championship. For the next 3 nights, ESPN and ESPN2 will bring you complete coverage as 8 of the PBA Tour's best slug it out in a stepladder format for one of bowling's most coveted prizes. First up, Jason Belmonte, the two-handed wonder from Down Under, takes on the Big Nasty, former Player of the Year, Wes Malott.
Welcome to the South Point Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas, the host venue for an unprecedented 3 days of live PBA coverage on the ESPN family of networks. Today, it's 2 matches as we build towards Sunday's final for the first major of the season, the PBA World Championship. Glad you're with us, Rob Stone, and the man who won this tournament in 1987, Randy Peterson, here with you. Wonderful setup leading towards next Saturday's live broadcast on ABC of the Tournament of Champions. But before we get to that major, we got to get through this one. And the PBA World Championship, Randy, really has become kind of the triathlon of bowling with a few extra little events thrown in front of these guys.
Yeah, it's like an Ironman competition when you look at the format. 60 games over 5 days on 5 different oil patterns against 250 of the world's greatest bowlers. Rob, in terms of versatility and endurance, this is the toughest tournament I can remember.
And now 3 days live on television. We'll have 2 matches for you today, which will weed the field out by 2. Belmonte taking on Malott, the winner, versus Michael Haugen Jr. Tomorrow, Mika Koivuniemi and Chris Barnes in action. And then Sunday, 3 matches, including your #1 seed, waiting Bill O'Neill in search of his 2nd title this young season. Now, only twice in the 52-year history of the PBA has a title been won from the 7 or 8 seed spot. And Kimberly Pressler, that means there are long odds and a long road for Belmo and Malott.
That's right, Rob. They do have a long road ahead of them. And Jason, you qualified 115th on the Viper pattern coming into this. What adjustments have you made to be more successful today?
Well, firstly, thank you for the reminder of the 115th position there. That's awesome. You know, I'm going to be a little bit smarter today. Normally, I'm a very a stubborn bowler, but I'm going to open my mind up and let the lane tell me what to do and just get to the line and let it go.
Now, Wes, you placed 2nd at last year's World Championship. You still don't have a major under your belt, but how hungry for this championship are you?
Well, it's definitely the next thing that I'm checking off my list. What I'm going to try and do here is go back to the end of the 09 season with the King of Bowling and the dominance that I put on there, and because this is basically the exact same format. I've got just 2 more matches to go with them, and you got the best of the best who bowled really well here in November in this particular bowling center, so I've got a road ahead of me.
All right, well, best of luck to both of you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Jason Belmonte in his two-handed style in pursuit of career title #2. And the Big Nasty, Wes Malott, trying to earn his first title since '09. Match 1 when we return. See a live look at the championship trophy of the PBA World Championship. That will not be handed out until Sunday. You can see it live on ESPN 1 Eastern. Michael Haugen Jr. and Jason Belmonte trying to move on to Sunday's show. They got to get through this match, and then they have to get through 2 more tomorrow. There is Jason Belmonte trying to make the move all the way up from the #8 seed spot. He was a 222-186 winner over Wes Malott. Now he has to move on and take on 6 seed Michael Haugen Jr. You go back to the World Series of Bowling, Randy, a lot of guys had problems on that left lane. Jason is handling it pretty well thus far. Now the intro for our #6 seed.
The #6 player owns a pair of PBA Tour titles, including 1 major from Carefree, Arizona, Michael Haugen Jr.
I want to remind you, next Saturday, live on ABC, the finals of the Tournament of Champions, a tournament that this young man won in 2008. 10-pin, somehow avoiding contact.
Be a downgraded ball.
Well, a very unusual style for somebody that goes as straight as Michael Haugen Jr. does. He's kind of got this last step where he kind of plants. You see there's zero slide at the foul line. Typically, Rob, you see that with power players, not with guys that go straight. Normally with guys that throw the ball as straight as Michael Haugen, you see that slide and the ball kind of coming together with that slide foot. And it's a very unusual way, and I think probably the fact that he doesn't slide at all is attributed to the knee problems he's had. As you take a look at his arsenal using the strongest ball in Michael Haugen Jr.'s arsenal, the Bank Pearl. Come on. And right there you can see why he's using such an aggressive piece of equipment. To me, it looks like the oil's pushed down the lane. You see very little back-end reaction. Michael Haugen Jr., because he throws it straight, doesn't have the big rev rate, needs a lot of bowling ball to make a turnover down the lane.
So Haugen with back-to-back spares to open up his effort today. And he makes way for Jason Belmonte. Was a bit of a novelty item a few years ago when he bowled a few events on the PBA. Oh, here comes this wonderful two-handed bowler from Australia. But he's more than just kind of a sideshow. He's not carny folk by any stretch on the PBA Tour. This is a hardcore athlete and a great competitor.
Oh, make no mistake about it. There were plenty of professional bowlers on the tour that knew about Jason Belmonte before he came out on the PBA Tour. And the scary part is that you see how good he is now. He only has one title to his credit, but his strength lies where his knowledge starts to increase. That's just going to make him that much better. So as he gets smarter, he figures out what equipment and how to throw it. He's going to be a very dangerous player out here.
Yeah. 10-pin shy of opening up with a three-bagger. You talk about him getting smarter and smarter. Not obviously, some of that has to do with more time on the lanes and more tournaments, but also the fact that the knowledge you get, Randy, from your competitors and from your friends. And he and Michael Fagan and Bill O'Neill, who's your #1 seed in this tournament, spend a ton of time together on the road, and you know the conversations they have. It's just like osmosis for all three of those guys, the knowledge that they're passing on to one another. Belmo takes care of the 10 and remains clean.
Yeah, that's a great point, Robbie, and you're exactly right. It's all about knowledge from this point forward for Bill O'Neill, for Michael Fagan, for Jason Belmonte, and they've got all the physical tools. Now it's all about how to use them the right way.
Those three guys you just mentioned all sharing a house here in Las Vegas for this week and next. Again, the TOC in Vegas next week. Haugen having some problems.
Too soon, pushing too long.
We saw Wes Malott with some early struggles versus Belmo, and it's being duplicated again by Haugen Jr.
Watch how early this ball starts to hook, and then it jumps right through the face. And a little more down lane reaction on the right lane from Michael Haugen Jr. He's coming in fresh. It's a bit of a disadvantage for him because he hasn't seen the lanes go through transition.
Join the most active community of bowlers on the web by friending the PBA on Facebook. Get tournament updates, view behind-the-scenes photos, and connect with the biggest stars in bowling. And check out Winning Wednesdays on the PBA Facebook page for your chance to win prize packs from PBA product registered companies. Simply head to PBA.com, click on the Facebook link to get started. Three frames, three spares for Haugen. And it looks like 4 frames and 4 spares for Haugen now.
He's lost. He went light on that lane the last time he was up on it. Now he makes the adjustment, goes high. What I see right now with the equipment he's using, that ball's checking early and not laying off down the lane.
Which means ball change.
Or he has to change his line, his alignment. He may have to move in just a little bit, soften up on the speed, give the ball time to react. but he has to make a different adjustment. His angle has to change, and he may have to change bowling balls as well.
Nothing but spares for Haugen thus far. Jason Belmonte, strike, spare. Here he is in the bottom of the fourth. A strike here would give him some nice early distance from Haugen.
Oh, no good.
2-4-5-8 in the bucket.
Wife watching. First kind of ugly shot for Jason thus far.
Well, he leaves the bucket, and it's pretty much one way to shoot this, and that's throwing it straight and hard and trying to hit the 2-5 right in the face.
And he does just that. Take a look at the Bear Trusted Pain Relief replay, brought to you by the makers of Bear Aspirin. And here is Jason covering it up in the fourth.
Well, some players like to hook it at the bucket. I've always liked throwing it straight and hard at the bucket. Just make sure that you cover enough of the 2-pin to get the back pin, the 8-pin.
So he drops the bucket, and it's now strike, spare. The lead at 10. We begin the fifth.
The adjustment that I see that Jason Belmonte has made from the first match to this match, he's moved slightly towards the center part of the lane with the same bowling ball, and he's gotten just a pinch softer. Now, when he left the bucket on the right lane, it was too firm. You could see it. He's got to keep his speed down to get that urethane bowling ball to turn the corner.
Come on. Ball change for Haugen, and he gets all 10 to drop.
Remember, that's what we talked about. That's what you said. Is it a ball change? It was a ball change and an alignment change. He went straight or moved to the right, and it's a great result. This ball doesn't read the front part of the lane. Michael Haugen Jr. told us yesterday in an interview he's gotten a lot smarter out here in terms of adjusting equipment, going to the right ball at the right time.
So Haugen Jr. off his first strike of the day. We begin the sixth.
Come on. Oh, yeah.
Back-to-back jacks for Haugen.
Reminiscent of what he did at the TSC a couple of years ago when he was trailing to Chris Barnes. He mounted a serious comeback during the last 5 out of 6 strikes to win the Tournament of Champions by 1 pin.
This comeback will be televised. Haugen Jr. down by 10, but Jason Belmonte, your 8th seed, is up in the 6th when we return to Vegas. And time now for the winning touch, brought to you by Touch of Gray. Gets rid of some gray, never all. And we flash back to last season's PBA World Championship and Tom Smallwood's improbable victory. That was his first ever PBA Tour title, and he just happened to do it at a major.
Yeah, he was machine-like that day, taking down the Wes Malott, one of the greatest players on the planet. Tom Smallwood was unfazed.
One of the many great stories that came out of the PBA last season. We are all even through 5.5. Michael Haugen stringing together his first pair of strikes to pull himself even with that man.
Welcome back to the 2011 PBA World Championship. Yesterday, luck was on Michael Haugen Jr.'s side as he was able to knock off two-handed sensation Jason Belmonte in the World Championship's first stages. But today, 2 of the PBA Tour's best are awaiting Haugen on the 8-man stepladder. First, number 5 seed, Major Mika Koivuniemi, and then number 4 qualifier former player of the year, Chris Barnes. Can Haugen's good luck continue? The PBA World Championship continues right now.
The PBA has rolled into Las Vegas, and someone is ready to cash in on the first major of the season. Tonight, the South Point Hotel and Casino hosts Day 2 of the PBA World Championship. And we welcome you to Day 2 of 3 consecutive days of live coverage of the PBA World Championship, the first major of the season. And what a wonderful 7-day stretch we begin right now in the PBA. This day 2, tomorrow day 3, the championship round live, 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And then next Saturday, our second major of the season, the Tournament of Champions, returns to ABC. Before we get to today's action, we flash back to tomorrow. Jason Belmonte, the 8th seed, the two-handed roller from Australia, taking down Wes Malott. Belmo off to a great start, dropped the opening 4, and Wes Malott had early struggles, could never gain enough ground, and Belmo started strong, finished just as strong. He moved on 222-186. Another strong start for Jason as he took on 6th seed Michael Haugen Jr. Michael Haugen Jr. some of those West-like early struggles, but was able to collect himself as Jason was unable to fully close the door. The 10-pin, a real bugaboo for him yesterday afternoon. So Haugen didn't like it, but the result he'll take just fine. Haugen advances 233-220 with 7 strikes. A 3-bagger and a 4-bagger, 2 Brooklyns in there, oh, by the way. So Haugen Jr. moves on to take on Mika Koivuniemi, our 5 seed, the winner, to take on 4 seed Chris Barnes a little bit later tonight. The winner of that match will move on to our live coverage on ESPN, 1 p.m. Eastern. You see your 3 seed Jason Belmonte, the native of Orange, New South Wales, Australia. This Viper oil pattern has been nasty to him, but he has really tamed it thus far today.
What a beautiful shot, Rob. And when his opponent, Michael Haugen Jr., steps up and throws a double to tie the match, Jason Belmonte answers the call with a double of his own to take a 10-pin lead. Just a gorgeous shot. Remember, his mantra is trying to overpower oil patterns. What that means is that he tends to get a little too fast at times and really wrench on it with the release point at the bottom of the swing. He's got to stay within himself and keep the speed under control. He looks real relaxed.
It's easy to look relaxed when you're finally having some success on a pattern that has been a huge nemesis for you.
Oh, without question. He looks real comfortable. Obviously, he's got a favorable ball reaction. I think one of the things about a guy like Jason Belmonte and this two-handed style is even with all that power, he's still able to go straight.
So despaired by Jason, he remains clean, and we go down the lane. Michael Haugen joining us live now. And Michael, you started with 4 spares and then back-to-back strikes. What was the change? Why the success now?
I went to a ball that gets to the fronts a little cleaner, squared up to the lane a little bit, went back to my strength, played straighter down the lane, using a little bit more ball speed, and so far so good. So these 2 shots are big here. Let's see if I can put 2 X's on the board and do what I came here to do.
Strike is a strike, and he will take it.
Yeah, but no professional wants to win like that, and Michael Haugen Jr. showed a lot of class by going over to Jason Belmonte and saying, hey, sorry about that. Nobody likes to win that way, but you know what? Hey,
there's no need to apologize. That's what happened.
He didn't mean to.
Exactly.
The ball jerked early. Maybe pulled it a couple boards and went Brooklyn, and he got a great break trip in the 6 out, but now he's got a 3-bagger and a 1-pin lead. Now let's update the arsenal. Remember, he was throwing a bank pearl. He is textured down and gone to a ball that's less aggressive, but again, that's the risk you run. Getting too firm and having it blow right through the end of the oil pattern.
Leaves the double wood just when he had seized the lead and had some momentum. So he covers that one. takes a seat. Jason Belmonte in the all-black pops up. Your number 8 seed has trailed for what, about 30 seconds today? And that's it. Dominated Wes Malott in match number 1. On top by 1. Here's his effort in the 8th. He can max out at a 2:44. Haugen just a 2:33. And again, problems with the 10-pin suddenly for Jason.
In 8 shots, he's thrown 7 absolutely perfect. He left the bucket in the 4th frame. He's got 4 strikes, 3 really ugly ringing 10 pins. But I love his composure. He's not getting upset. He's not going, gosh, dog it, I left another 10 pin. He's staying within himself, and he's keeping his head about it.
And he's making his spares. Randy, you know I love saying this. Time to fire up the RV. She doesn't have far to go. In fact, we really don't need to fire up unless we want to get the kitchen and the TV going and the refrigerator. We'll be right back here at South Point. Live coverage tomorrow night on ESPN2 at 8:30 Eastern. And then Sunday on ESPN. And then next Saturday, January 22nd, 2:30 Eastern, ABC, the Tournament of Champions. $1 million prize fund in that one.
Cannot wait for that tournament.
I can't wait for Saturday night. You get enshrined to the Hall of Fame. Belmonte, 9th. Again, the 10, and the messenger does not deliver.
Well, he didn't like that shot immediately out of his hand, and I think he's probably satisfied with just leaving a 10 pin. However, without striking there in the 9th frame, he gives Michael Haugen Jr. the opportunity to shut him out. The best Belmo can shoot now, if he covers the 10, is 222. Michael Haugen Jr. can strike out 9th and 10th frame and shoot 233.
Didn't like the footing, and might have gotten a break there.
Remember the last time Michael Haugen Jr. was up? 7th and 8th frame. 7th frame, he went Brooklyn. 8th frame, he went light. After throwing a 3-bagger when he made the ball change.
His only 3 strikes.
A lot can go in a player's mind trying to decipher this enigma of this oil pattern when you thought you had it, and now all of a sudden you go Brooklyn light. Let's see what adjustment he makes.
Perfect stroke. 4th strike overall. 3rd on the right lane. Lead back in the Haugen camp.
Yeah, that was just a tremendous shot. He really manned up when he had to, and he knows getting it on this right lane that if he strikes in the 9th, he's got a chance to shut out Belmonte. He pured that shot.
One strike away from a shutout.
And Michael Haugen Jr. able to do what Jason Belmonte has not been able to do, and that's kick the 10 out with that shot right there. If Michael Haugen goes 9 spare, he shoots 222. We have the possibility of a tie. If he strikes on this next ball, it's over.
Again, he started this match with 4 consecutive spares. Since then, 5 strikes. That is in the face, but gets it to kick. And he moves on.
2 Brooklyn strikes for Michael Haugen Jr. and 3-4 ringing 10 pins for Jason Belmonte is the undoing. Hey, when it's your day, it's your day. Wow. Michael Haugen Jr., he'll be the first to admit that was a bad shot, pulled way left.
Lucky break, but I'll take it.
Gets the huge break trip in the 6-pin. Game over.
Tough one for Belmonte to swallow. A couple 10 pins down, and this is a different result. That's the way the pin falls.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
You know I didn't want to win it like that, mate.
That's how the game goes.
Oh, that was ugly.
No comeback.
Ugly, but effective for Haugen. Sweeping the legs out to give him the victory. And he moves on to take on Mika Koivuniemi tomorrow. We'll talk about that when we return to Vegas. We welcome you back to Vegas. Don't miss the PokerStars.net Caribbean Adventure main event live on ESPN2 and ESPN3.com. For the first time, Randy, at a major poker tournament, they will reveal players' hole cards, which apparently is a big thing. I don't know much about poker, but it sounds groundbreaking.
Yeah, the players can see everybody's hole cards, man. That changes everything.
Oh, all right, well, good. Well, I'm looking forward to watching that Saturday. Sunday, time now, Randall, for the Geico Championship recap.
Well, our first match, Jason Belmonte took down the big nasty 222, 186, throwing that urethane ball nice and straight and throwing some beautiful shots. Then in the next match against Michael Haugen Jr., Michael Haugen Jr. makes a huge adjustment, bowling ball and line. Throws a 3-bagger, 5th, 6th, and 7th, capitalizes on the biggest break of the tournament for him right there, going Brooklyn to shut out Jason Belmonte.
So the PBA World Championship field is down to 6. Your 6th seed moves on with the 13-pin victory, and he's standing by downstairs with Kimberly.
Well, Michael, you got 2 lucky breaks today, getting 2 Brooklyns. You can't count on that for tomorrow. What is your mindset moving forward?
Obviously, to make better shots, first and foremost. I was fortunate today. My opponent bowled a better game, and, I was lucky to carry the 2 Brooklyns, and that's the game sometimes. And, it's unfortunate he did bowl a better game, but I have to get myself ready for tomorrow, and, that's all I can do, just try and make better shots tomorrow when I'm in the same situation. So.
Well, congratulations on moving up the step ladder for tomorrow's live telecast.
And he will take on Mika Koivuniemi, your number 5 seed. Coverage begins with live at the PBA World Championship at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Our coverage going all the way up to the 10 o'clock hour on the East Coast. Jason Belmonte taking care of Wes Malott, but not enough in his arsenal to take down Michael Haugen Jr., who lives to bowl another day. When we return to Las Vegas, it'll be tomorrow night. Day 2 of 3 of our coverage of the PBA World Championship. Belmo looked to be in good shape through much of match number 2, but then the 10-pin came to bite him, and Michael Haugen Jr. with some lucky breaks advances. Dari and Jay standing by in the ESPN Sports Center studios. For Kimberly, Randy, and our entire crew, I'm Rob Stone. Thanks for watching from Vegas. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night on ESPN2 at 8:30 Eastern. He's there, number 1 seed, Bill O'Neill, trying to earn his 2nd title of the year. Rob Stone and 13-time titleist Randy Peterson back here with you, and kind of a wild Friday. You predicted Haugen Jr. would move on, certainly not in the fashion that he did.
Well, he was very fortunate, but he's also been on the other side of that. He shot 279 in Louisville back in 2001, only to lose to Pete Weber's 289. Michael Haugen Jr. needs to continue to ride the wave of good fortune today.
Hey, a lot of people probably thought the Baltimore Ravens should have won today. That's why you play the game. Things like that happen. We go down to the lanes. Our 2 competitors standing by, and there's Kimberly Pressler standing by with him. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, Rob. Well, yesterday, Michael actually had to do a ball change in the middle of his match. Michael, how confident in your ball selection are you today?
Well, if I'm not too confident, I got a lot more that'll work. And as you've seen yesterday, I'm not afraid to switch at any time. So that's the beauty of having, 8 or 9 bowling balls, is that if one's not working, you just switch, and hopefully you guess right and you keep striking. So when you have a good lineup, you just go with one that works.
And what are you going to start with?
I'm going to go with the Bank Pro. It's our most aggressive ball, and it's designed to really hook in the back end. So if I decide to firm up or hook it, hopefully it's going to give me the hook and give me the carry to strike.
So you're going back to starting what you started yesterday?
That's correct for now, but like I said, you never know.
All right, and Mika, you are coming off a back injury. How are you feeling, and do you feel like you're back in top form?
My back is great. It's no excuses here. I need to just perform well and do my job.
Well, nothing but positive vibes and confidence coming from the floor. Rob, back to you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Action from day 2 kicks off when we return. Can Michael Haugen's good fortune continue tonight, or will 8-time titleist Mika Koivuniemi bring his run to an end? Find out with us. And welcome back to our continuing live coverage of the 52nd edition of the PBA World Championship. We are coming away from South Point Bowling Center here in Las Vegas. Time now for the introductions of match number 3.
The number 5 seed is an 8-time PBA Tour champion with 2 majors. Former PBA Player of the Year representing Finland, the Big Fin, Mika Koivuniemi.
Those two majors, the 2000 USBC Masters and the 01 US Open. Day 2 gets underway right now. And Mika starts with an opening Kato.
And it's all business on Mika's face right now.
The number 6 seed owns a pair of PBA Tour titles, including one major from Carefree, Arizona, Michael Haugen Jr.
That one major that was just mentioned, earned here in Las Vegas, the 2008 TOC, a memorable match versus Chris Barnes, who is waiting in the wings to take on the winner of this match.
Well, he's going with the strongest ball in his arsenal. He's throwing a high, hard one. Now, it was interesting to watch Michael Haugen Jr. in practice because he had moved farther towards the center part of the lane with that same bank pearl. He actually slowed his speed down, kind of got his hand around the side of it, and was playing the lanes very similar to what Mika was playing them. But apparently, he decided to go with his A game, and that's moving right and throwing it hard and straight.
It's what you're confident with in any sport, and if that is the tool that you feel best with, roll with it. Whoa, late kick.
You don't get those on TV 2 days in a row.
Wow. Somebody get him down to the tables, because he is rolling with luck so far.
I am so gambling with him tonight. I mean, we saw it yesterday's show.
That's a great break.
2 trip 6 Brooklyns.
Right there,
now it's a trip 2 pin for an early double. But I got to tell you, Rob, I don't think I'm a big fan of him throwing it that straight. If he misses an inch to the inside, he's going to throw it right into Mika's track area.
Back-to-back opening jacks for Mika Koivuniemi. Another Kato, which is finish for strike as we take a look at Mika's arsenal.
Using a strong one. Mission Dominator. Excuse me, Mission Domination. It's the strongest bowling ball in his arsenal, and you can see why. He's inside and trying to open it up. But again, he's farther left than Michael Haugen Jr., and he's burning up all of Michael Haugen Jr.'s hold area.
Trying to drop a 3-ball here. A leadoff triple for Mika Koivuniemi. The Big Fin, 6'4", 185, lives now in Michigan, and nothing but strikes here thus far tonight.
And absolutely no emotion by Mika with that 3rd strike. Just stoic. All business.
Michael Haugen Jr. advancing yesterday over Jason Belmonte, 233, 220. Right through the nose, and that's exactly what you were talking about.
Well, again, any miss left, and it's going to spell disaster for Michael Haugen Jr. because this area right in here is all dry now. Michael Haugen Jr. tries to get to the right of that, but the problem is if he misses left, that's what happens. Chris Barnes and Mika Koivuniemi during practice played to their strength and their power game. They started going straight early, but as the lanes broke down, they did what they do best. They moved in, and they opened up the lane. Michael Haugen Jr. doesn't like to do that.
And you saw that going on about half an hour ago during our live at the PBA World Championship coverage. Off the open frame, back on the strike train.
See, now that was a great adjustment because he stayed with the same line, went with a little bit of loft, and that held the ball on line.
So Koivuniemi looking for an opening 4-bagger. The lead at 25 early on.
Show me those signs, Vegas. What a start for Mika.
I thought it was great when you asked Mika, how do you say ham bone in Finnish? His response, four-bagger.
To each their own, Randall. To each their own.
Well, again, just 4 perfect shots by Mika Koivuniemi to start.
And remember, Jason Belmonte, match number 1 yesterday, started with an opening 4-bagger as well. Went on to move on and then finally fall to Michael Haugen Jr. Mika looking for 5. Perfection through 5.
You know, it's one thing to have talent and be physically gifted, but you also have to have the mental capabilities to go with that. And Mika's showing you he's got it all.
Here is a graphic showing how he fared through the 5 events of the recently completed World Series of Bowling. And Viper, he was second through qualifying, clearly his favorite.
Cameraman in the white shirt, he's bouncing all over. Just letting you know. The guy in the white shirt behind, he was moving all over the place. He's fine now, but he was just all over the place.
We have seen this in the past from Michael Haugen Jr. He is easily distracted by some of the elements that go on around a live TV bowling situation.
He's able to shake it off and get all 10 to drop. I know, but that time I could really see his white shirt. So. I know.
I think the last thing Mika wants to do is get in a conversation with his opponent right now. He's like, you know what? I'm sitting here doing my thing. I got 5 in a row. Let's see what you got left, Michael Haugen Jr. Double open frame in the 3rd, followed by a double. Michael needs to get focused, not worry about the stuff happening down lane, and start throwing strikes.
Come on. And another strike for Haugen. Man, that ball's phenomenal.
3 in a row. The conclusion of Haugen. Koivuniemi on the backside. Plus, if you are a female high school bowler who wants to roll in college, Michael Haugen and Arizona State may have a solution. We'll explain when we return. Welcome you back to Las Vegas. Our continuing coverage of the PBA World Championship as we zoom in on the beautiful Lena Koivuniemi, the wife of Mika. She's got a great seat to watch her husband try and continue his efforts to win his 3rd ever major. And Mika, perfect through 5, stepping up to close out the 6th.
A little commercial blues there. Quite possibly the oil pattern breaking down just a little bit, and Mika not anticipating that. But let's take a look now. There's a difference between loft and a high launch angle. You notice how, because Mika doesn't have a huge knee bend, he's a big, tall guy, it's a little bit tougher for him to get the ball down on the floor without hearing it hit the lane.
Mika able to cover that one. He remains clean through 6. Again, Haugen with an open frame in the 3rd, but it's been nothing but strikes on the front and back end of that open frame.
I'll tell you, if you want to be a good player out here, you better learn how to make the 3-6-10 and the 3-6-9-10, because it seems like if you don't split and you go through the nose, that's what you're leaving.
And how many times, Randy, have we seen these tournaments come down to those who can or can't make their spares?
That's a great shot. And it was a great camera angle, too, because it really shows you how steady Mika's head is at delivery, at the release point. You don't want your head moving all over the place, because then it's harder to keep your eyes on your target. And Mika is beautifully balanced. And just a great shot, only to leave a ringing 10.
So back-to-back spares for Mika, and now Michael Haugen steps up for his effort in the 7th. And Michael, as we were going to break, you made a comment about your bowling ball. What is it doing so well for you right now?
You know, right now it's knocking all 10 down if I get it even remotely close to the right side of the head pin, which is an absolutely fabulous thing out here. Hopefully I can continue to make good shots like that and it'll strike. As for the reaction, it's clearing the fronts the way I want them to, and it's just running through the pins the right way. So hopefully we didn't jinx anything here, and I got 2 more strikes coming up.
So Michael steps up, bottom of the 7th. Haugen, an assistant men's coach at Arizona State, would be the women's head coach, Randy, if he was able to get a women's program. What they need, 2 recruits to make it happen. So if you are a young female bowler out there who wants to bowl collegiately, look up Arizona State. Michael, you didn't see the shot pointed at us with 2 hands.
Oh,
I, in no way, shape, or form, are going to take blame for him not dropping that 10 pin.
Hey, well, one good ringing 10 deserves another. Mika left it on the left lane. He comes back with a good one on the right lane. Unfortunately, he was on a 3-bagger.
Put on the skinny jeans on the backside to drop down that 10 pin.
He's a good spare shooter. He doesn't miss spares.
One of the underrated aspects of Michael Haugen's game. Take a look at some of the other finishers from the PBA World Championship. Jason Belmonte with the win over West Malott, finished 7th yesterday. That's our good friend Ronnie Russell at 9. Richie Allen, one of my favorites, with the top 10 finish.
How about on Lino Monticelli at 11?
Left lane provides a strike for Haugen.
Standing up after getting you over there.
Norm Duke finishing 17th. It'll be interesting to see what Norm does this week. The Tournament of Champions getting fired up right now.
Kimmo Lehtonen.
Pete Weber checking in at 20. Tommy Jones, 22. Mika Koivuniemi. Big frame here in the 8th after back-to-back spares. Again, he started with 5 strikes.
22-pin lead.
Perfect.
Yeah, and that was beautiful. He kept his hand up the back of that shot there to control the back-end reaction and make the ball behave perfectly off the back end of the pattern.
And not a trace of emotion.
Well, and you know what? Rightly so. He doesn't win the tournament by beating Michael Haugen Jr.
He doesn't even win it by beating Chris Barnes should he advance.
He wins the tournament by beating Bill O'Neill tomorrow. There's absolutely no reason to, to get all mental yet.
Up 22, we begin the foundation frame 9th.
Whoa. Now that could have been real interesting with a big 4 right here. Mika gets this ball inside and it barely holds on. Looking for the trip 4-7-10, doesn't get it. Mika can spare here. He can strike out to shoot 246. The best Michael Haugen Jr. can shoot if he strikes out 244. First things first, cover the 10.
Third spare in the last 4 frames for Koivuniemi after that lights-out start.
But Rob, getting back to showing the emotions, I really like the Mika demeanor because it seems in control. He's got a pretty good handle on where he's at mentally. And again, it's just too early to be running him out 5 or 6 lanes over, screaming and slapping him off, and it's just too early for that.
A pair for Haugen. The 10th is going to be fun.
2 more here. He's going to put all the pressure on Mika Koivuniemi to show up in the 10th frame. If he strikes out, he'll force Mika to get 2 and 9 to beat him by 1 pin. But no matter what, he cannot shut out Mika Koivuniemi. This one's going to be straight and really fast. Well, you know, you got to give him a lot of credit, Rob, because even though it looks like he shouldn't play where he's playing to his strength. He said push, and what that means is it's just a pinch inside a target, but he was real good with it at the bottom of the swing with the release point, and he made that ball hold line.
Deficit trimmed to 2. His second effort in the 10th.
Come on.
Oh no, the 7 took a nudge, but wasn't enough to convince it to drop.
Just a pinch right of target. Just doesn't catch enough of it. Throws a couple of pins at the 7. It stands up. Now Mika Koivuniemi gets up in the 10th frame. He'll need a strike and 9 to advance.
So Haugen in the books with a 233, the identical score he had yesterday when he eliminated Jason Belmonte.
If Mika gets less than 7 on his first ball here, he'll lose. We have a possibility of a tie.
Great shot, Mika.
That was a hesitant shot. You could see he pulled up out of it. He grabbed it at the bottom, and that ball went straight through the face. He's got to cover this and strike on his fill shot to force a tie. It's tough when you haven't been there in a while, Rob.
3-6-10. He made this conversion in the 6th frame as his wife watches.
It's no gimme.
Got it.
Now he's got to gather himself and throw his best shot right here.
A strike to tie. Anything less, and the 6th seed Haugen moves on. The missus watching from just yards away.
She knows the scoreboard. Taking his time, gathering his thoughts. He should only be thinking about one thing and one thing only. Just about how great he's going to throw this next shot.
The 10-pin denies Mika, and Haugen moves on.
Wow is right.
Obviously frustrated Koivuniemi, and the somewhat Cinderella run of Michael Haugen Jr. lives for another match.
If Mika goes 9 spare 9 in the 10th frame, he wins. He has got to be devastated with that first ball in the 10th frame. This one's really good. He gets it just a pinch wide. He comes in late, leaving the ring at 10. But it was the first ball in the 10th frame where he yacked on it. He grabbed it at the bottom. It went high, leaving the 3-6-10. And then a ringing 10, Michael Haugen Jr. proving he's got 9 lives here in Vegas.
Looked like Mika was in control with that lights-out start, but a little gack, and Haugen pounced. So Michael Haugen Jr. moves on by 1 pin. Up next, 4-seed Chris Barnes. He has won 2 majors, but he's had major problems as of late on TV. We'll discuss his chances when we return to Vegas. Michael Haugen Jr. Back-to-back 233s will not be denied. Will Chris Barnes be the one put an end to his magical run, the 4 seed, to take on your 6 seed next. But first, we hear from Chris Barnes down on the lanes with Kimberly.
Well, Chris, you watched how close that last match was. Did you learn anything, and what's your game plan?
Well, I learned a few things. Mika had a great ball reaction there, and the finish is just brutal. He bowled a really good game. He made a couple of bad shots, and sometimes good luck is a great benefactor. And Michael's been taking advantage of those situations. I'm going to play a line pretty similar to Mika's and hope that I can bowl a pretty good game here.
Chris Barnes up next in action, taking on Michael Haugen Jr. NBA action coming your way tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Carmelo Anthony in Denver taking on the team with the best record in the league, the San Antonio Spurs. NBA Sunday on ESPN at 9 Eastern. Chris Barnes has won just 1 match in his last 5 televised appearances. His drive to get off the schneid gets in gear when we return to Vegas. Coming up, a rematch of the 2008 Tournament of Champions title match. Michael Haugen Jr. taking on Chris Barnes. And what a match it was, Randy, decided by 1 pin.
Michael Haugen Jr. was buried, and Chris Barnes let him in late. Michael Haugen threw the last 5 out of 6 and beat him by a pin. Chris Barnes did have a chance in the 10th frame, but it was some kind of epic comeback.
The number 5 seed, rather the number 4 qualifier, owns 12 PBA Tour titles, including 2 majors. Former PBA Player of the Year from Double Oak, Texas, Chris Barnes.
A win would give Chris Barnes the Triple Crown. He's already won the US Open and the TOC. He begins his quest for the PBA World Championship right now. Drop and give me 10.
And I really liked what he said to Kimberly about his game plan. He's going to play his game and try to beat Michael Haugen with his best.
No ball change yet for Michael Haugen Jr.
Ooh, you anticipate one?
I like to stay ahead of things, Randy.
Sorry.
A little bit through the face there.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you, it's amazing that he can stay there, because everything left of him has got to be fairly dry. It's a credit to his ability, and you know, whether you like to throw it straight or you like to hook it, the bottom line is you got to knock all 10 down. He is finding a way to throw it straight from the outside part of the lane when I don't think it's a real good idea, nor do I think he can do it, but he's getting it done.
How much time do you think he has left with that approach?
Well, I would have said none last game.
Right.
It just goes to show you, man, play to your strengths and do it with conviction. And that's what Michael Haugen Jr. is doing. He knows that he can't miss left. And if he does miss left, he better knuckle it. His thumb better come out first. Or excuse me, his thumb better come out last to keep it on line. And that's another trick that most people don't know about. Michael Haugen Jr. just threw a little loft at you right there, and that's also going to help him keep the ball on line. There you go. See a little airtime a la Mika Koivuniemi. Keeps his hand behind it, or up the back of it, and that keeps the ball from making that violent change of direction down the lane.
Pretty looking shot. This is the second TV appearance of the season for Barnes after he finished 4th at the Chameleon Championship right here at South Point, as we take a look at his arsenal tonight.
And he's using a world beater, and that's the hookingest ball in his arsenal, which basically plays into his game plan, and that's move in and hook it on this Viper oil pattern.
I want to know who comes up with the names of some of these balls. Very impressive collection of names.
It is.
And intimidating. Barnes looking to open up with a 3-bagger. 10-pin Messenger, down he goes! The misses. Linda Barnes enjoying the Messenger's result.
Let's take a little page out of Michael Haugen's book in terms of catching a break, and there it is. There's a trip 10. When it looked like it was going to stand up, it fell late.
Talk about somebody who needs some mojo on TV. Spare strike, and this in the third from Haugen, right in the middle, right up the nose.
Too soft. Stay with it. Stay with it.
Trouble brewing for Haugen.
Yeah, I just got a little bit of soft, and this ball just broke loose. And right here looks pretty good, but right at the bottom of the swing. Doesn't throw it fast enough, and there you see the change of the direction down the lane.
Haugen covers, clean through 3.
What I like about what that man's doing right there, it's all about the game plan, and there is no indecisiveness. It's crystal clear what he is trying to do. It's not, well, should I play out where Michael Haugen's playing? Should I play in between where I'm playing and where he's playing? It's, I'm moving in, I'm going to use my hand to my advantage, and I'm going to wheel on it.
Back on the strike train. It's Haugen. He thought a 230 in that range would be a good score. He got a 233 in his victory. Here is Chris Barnes. Last season, a rough one for him as far as winning titles are concerned. The first time since 2000, he did not claim a title. He's looking for an opening 4-bagger here. Wide right.
Just a bit outside.
Understatement of the night. And another break for Haugen.
Well,
How'd that not strike?
This is where he has to regroup and come back and make the 1-2-4-7. It's just one shot. Get up, clean it up, and move on. Not the easiest of spares for a number of reasons. Easy to chop, easy to miss the head pin and hook by it.
Cleans it up. That's a big-time spare conversion from Chris Barnes, and that is our Bear Trusted Pain Relief replay, brought to you by the makers of Bear Aspirin, and a big relief for Barnes that he was able to cover that one.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Keeps him clean. All right, so he lost a couple of pins in count, but so what?
Still has the lead.
Just put that behind you and go back to what you were doing.
We begin the 5th.
I think so many times players dwell on where did that shot come from. You got to get past it.
And quickly. Whoa, a very fortunate late drop of the 10.
That was a little bit of the same. He just loses it just a hair at the bottom of the swing.
Gotta get started sooner.
Huge break here. Tripping that 10 late, only leaving a single pin spare. You heard Chris say he's got to get it started sooner. He's talking about his push weight. If he doesn't get the ball into the swing soon enough, he has to pull it down from the top, and when he does that, the ball goes either left or right of target.
So Chris will sit and mull over back-to-back spares. Michael Haugen Jr. Spare strike, as he gets set for his effort in the 5th. Down 15 pins, but in prime position to make up some big-time ground. Right through the nose again. And
Someone did something over there. I
real
heard like
tough
a zipper
break.
or something. Crazy. I don't know. I heard something. I don't know what it was, man. No big deal. It's just a world championship.
Different type of style for a guy that throws it fairly straight. You can see that heel coming off the ground right there. No slide. Typically not what you see from a player that throws the ball straight.
Was able to overcome an open frame in our last match to get the one-pin win over Mika Koivuniemi. Will he be able to do that here in match number 4? Open frame in the 5th. Barnes with spares in the 4th and the 5th. Haugen Jr. kind of handing it right back to him. Here's the 6th.
I don't see that line having any chance.
Does that mean a ball change?
I think
lineup change.
It's just an alignment change. I think he can use the same ball, move in, and get his ball speed soft enough to where he can go around it a little bit more like Chris Barnes is doing. I think if he did that, he still has a chance to win this game.
Kicks the 2-pin out, gets his 3rd spare. The lead at 27 for Chris Barnes, and the conclusion of Barnes Haugen. And we return the winner to move on to Sunday's Final 4 here at the PBA World Championship, the first major of the PBA season. Once again, Chris Barnes with a healthy advantage on television. He hasn't always been able to close out those games. Here is Barnes defending himself from the criticism surrounding his past TV failures.
One of the things that's great about sports, you're allowed to have an opinion, you're allowed to be critical, and so if they want to think I'm a choker, then they can think I'm a choker. All they have to do to find out if I am for real, they can come bowl me. Do the guys on tour do? I don't know. Some of them might, some might not, but I know I still get to an awful lot of them somehow, and I don't think these guys are spotting me the 9th and 10th frame of every game.
Barnes in the crowd watching that soundbite on the edge of the lanes. He had a smile on his face, and I think he's got a little extra motivation in his game right now.
I'll tell you what, you say what you want about his struggles on television. He's won 12 times. He's got a couple majors. And you know what? Yeah, he does struggle from time to time on television. But I'll tell you what, it's not a bad thing to have your peers and the majority of the players out here feel that you're the best on tour.
That is a big strike after a long commercial break.
That was for Tommy. Oh, I struck out of a commercial break.
Chris Barnes has been working on a little bit different setup and trying to get a little bit more axis rotation. So what he does is he sets up with his wrist cocked to the inside of part of the ball, and that helps him to get more rotation or get around the side of the bowling ball more. The 2 shots where he went way light in the 4th and then light in the 5th, he just lost it off his hand.
Back to back. Big time jacks for Barnes. Linda approving of this rebound after those set of spares in the 4th and the 5th. Now Michael Haugen Jr. has some serious work in front of him. Down 37. His last 2 frames have been open and spare, and there is a ball change. How many times have we seen similar type results for Haugen over the last 24 plus hours? Not a Brooklyn, but close.
No, this is just a trip to 8.
Tommy, and all of a sudden the roll 2 is in.
They all count, right, brother?
They absolutely do all count, Michael.
Still with the same ball in the left lane, though. Interesting. Right through the nose for a big 4. You saw it coming.
Circle the 8th frame. You will reflect back on that. And barring an implosion, it's Barnes's game. Another open frame. Messenger. Not enough. Take your vitamins. Oh man, get your one-a-day multivitamin 50+ advantage. Shameless plug, I realize.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Barnes steps up quickly. Take care of the 10. Time now for the Go RVing on the road, and the RV is not going to be putting on a whole lot of miles. We are right back here at the South Point Hotel and Casino tomorrow, live 1 Eastern on ESPN for our 3-match final. Next Saturday, back on ABC, 2:30 Eastern, the second major view of the PBA Tournament of Champions. Barnes in the 9th.
Better?
Money!
He lets things up front.
Well, it's mathematically a tie right now. If Michael Haugen Jr. strikes out, he shoots 194. If Chris Barnes gets up in double gutters in the 10th frame, he shoots 194. But you know what? I know Chris has struggled on television before, but I got to think he can handle one pin.
And that is all she wrote.
I like the fact that Barnesy came in and was committed to what he wanted to do. And instead of trying to outthink his opponent, he just tried to outbowl his opponent, and he did that.
Chris Barnes lives to bowl another day. The 4 seed moves on. He'll be in action tomorrow, taking on Osku Palermo. We'll be back to wrap it up in Vegas. After this, Chris Barnes victorious over Michael Haugen Jr. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler welcoming you back to Las Vegas. Chris Barnes, a dominating victory, 243 to 172 over Michael Haugen Jr. Time now for our Geico Championship recap. Randall.
Thanks, Rob. Match number 1, Michael Haugen Jr. taking on Mika Koivuniemi. Mika has a chance to put Michael Haugen Jr. away in the 10th frame. Throws a 7 count his first shot, then he needs a strike to tie, brings a 10. Haugen advances by 1. Then in match number 4, Chris Barnes just got all over Michael Haugen early, and he just stayed on him, throwing shots like that. Little messenger, come on now. He takes care of Michael Haugen Jr., 243, 172. Chris Barnes, he moves on.
So Barnes, the 4 seed, moves on, and this is a reminder for Chris. It's not Sunday, it's only Saturday. Chris, you have not yet won the PBA World Championship. Put that hardware down, young man. You can claim it Sunday, but you have 3 more matches to win, and Barnes standing by with Kimberly.
Chris, how do you think you did today?
Well, I think all in all, any win I'll take. That's for sure. You know, I've had some struggles at times. So got off to a great start. You know, Michael, unfortunately, he had some bad breaks in the middle, and I made some bad shots, and he didn't make me pay for them. So all in all, you know, I had a ball here today that I didn't have in the World Series earlier with that world beater, and it made him look awful easy today.
I saw you over there picking up the trophy. Are you ready to win tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm ready. It's a little early, I guess, to pick that up, but just practicing just in case. You know, I think Bill and a few other guys have something to say about that, though.
We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Thank you.
A little practice on the trophy celebration. Never hurts
to try to practice on that hoist.
So Chris Barnes moves on. Match number 1 tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. He will take on the two-handed bowler from Finland, Osku Palermo. Bill O'Neill, your number 1 seed. Luck finally ran out on Michael Haugen Jr.'s magical run through the 52nd edition of the PBA World Championship. Able to survive Mika Koivuniemi by 1 pin. Not able to do so versus Chris Barnes. Barnes in pursuit of major number 3. We'll see how it goes tomorrow on ESPN. For Randy, Kimberly, and our entire crew, I'm Rob Stone. Good night from Vegas.